So the cat decided she wanted to hide on top of the fridge. Stupid cat. Hey, look, I like you. Very lucky. So, yeah, I'm making the update late in the week. But anyways, drafted twice last week. 2 packs of Dark Ascension, one of Innistrad. All well and good. First draft I ended up with this monster right here. Ignore this side for now. I went mono red. We had no idea what was going on. There were 2 people at the table drafting red. Me and some other guy who was almost at the opposite end of the table. And we're just sitting there like, what the? I mean, there were good removal cards going around even late in the pack. I was actually worried about kind of like, you know, being kind of creature light, or at least I thought being creature light, you know. But these things happen. I ended up with 2 Forge Devils. These are 1/1. When he hits the board, it's 1 to you and 1 to target creature. It's kind of interesting. It's good for like knocking out any of those 1 toughness dudes that make the rounds. There are some of them out there. A lot of them are annoying. They're either like first strike or flying or some crazy thing like that. And it's a bad scene, right? 4 copies of Sexy Burn, or as the wizards like to call it, Fires of Undeath. It's Sexy Burn. Look at that. Anyways, it's not a bad card at all. It's very good and limited. 3 Torch Fiends. It's a 2/1 body for a color center red. You can pump red and sack him for artifact destruction. He's a pretty solid filler card. No, he's not first pick worthy at all. In fact, he's probably not even first 5 picks worthy, but solid filler card. Very solid. He's got decent sized power and doubles as artifact removal. Most of the time, if you're going to use him as artifact removal, you're going to use him to nuke equipment. 2 Blood Feuds. That's a card that I read too quickly when I saw it in spoilers, and I'm like, wait a minute, target creature fights target creature. Like, wait, okay, so you're doing the same thing as Prey Upon at sorcery speed for 6 times the converted mana cost. And then, like, I think it was at the pre-release, I actually stopped and read it a little bit more slowly. I'm like, wait, target creature and target creature. Nowhere on the card does it say the words you control. Nowhere on the card. I found myself using that to basically pit 2 of my opponent's creatures against each other, usually removing one of them, frequently both. That's nice. That's really nice. I also had a Boiling Oil in there. It's a color center red with a flashback of 3 and a white, 3 damage target attacking or blocking creature. All well and good, right? Rage Thrower, he was nice to have in there. Night Revelers, it's a beefy creature. Heckling Fiends, I actually made an interesting proxy image for Heckling Fiends. Maybe next week I'll have one printed up to show off. Be nice. A Kessig Wolf, Feral Ridge Wolf, all well and good. A Village Ironsmith, Tormented Pariah. A lot of these guys are just filler creatures because, like I said, you know, by the time pack 3 hit, I'm like, crap, I don't have much in the way of creatures. No, I mean, seriously, creatures? I had, what, 3 Torch Fiends, 2 Forge Devils, the Heckling Fiends, and also had a Faithless Looting in there. Not a creature, just, well, the Warden of the Wall is interesting, but you can't really attack with him. And I also had a Barkov Blade Master, which I was really happy about getting. That thing's nice. I'll talk about that more in a moment. And Pyreheart Wolf. But like I said, most of my creatures were on like the unimpressive scale of the mana curve, so there's that. I also, you're not seeing it here because it got kicked in the prize pool and I didn't get it back, a Charmbreaker Devils that I picked up in the Innistrad pack. That's nice. Faithless Looting is a nice card. I really like it. Herc. Get back to the Markov Blade Master. It's a 1/1 with double strike for a colorless and double red. When it deals damage to combat damage to a player, you put a +1/+1 counter on it. Apparently, some people were playing. Other people who got their hands on it were playing it wrong. It is not swing, deals first strike damage, deals normal damage, gets a counter. No, it's nastier. It's far nastier than that. Swing. Do you block? No? Cool. First strike, it deals 1 damage to you, gets a counter. Normal, deals 2 damage to you, gets a counter. The first time this thing swings, if it's not blocked or has its damage somehow prevented, it's dealing 3 damage to the opponent and turning itself into a 3/3. The next round, you got a 3/3 double striker. That's fan-freaking-tastic. I mean, the only thing that would make it better is if you had haste. I don't even want to think about what would happen if it was printed in a set with lightning greaves. It's like, wait. You know, 2 colorless artifact equipment, equips for 0, equipped creature has haste and shroud. That'd be awesome. Yeah, turn 2 of lightning greaves. Turn 3, Blade Master, suit it up, turn it sideways. That's just mean. I mean, just outright mean. But so I was running 16 lands in the deck, 10 mountains, 3 swamps, 3 plains, plains for flashback on the Burning Oil, swamps for flashback on the Fires of Undeath. And I came in 2nd place with this deck. I mean, I pretty soundly trounced my round 1 and 2 opponents. Pretty soundly. And then round 3, I go up against Jan, and Jan just, game 1, I can't remember if game 1 was close or not. Game 2, I just got totally screwed on land. I don't know what was going on. I kept an opening hand with like 2 mountains in it, and I had like a bunch of removal cards and the Blade Master in my opening hand. I'm like, okay, cool. That means by turn 3, I just need to draw 1 more land. Doesn't matter what, doesn't matter if it's another mountain, doesn't matter if it's a plains, doesn't matter if it's a swamp. 1 more land, I'm cool. I never drew the 3rd land. It was bad. It was just bad. But, hey, you know what, it is what it is. It was what it was. I still came in 2nd. Just for poops and giggles, me and Jan played a 3rd game, and I drew a lot better in the 3rd game, and I did beat him in the game 3, but it was really close. So, all things considered, I'm willing to say that, my deck and Jan's deck were pretty evenly matched overall, and that it was mostly luck of the draw that got him the win. Or heavens forbid, if I had won, it would have been luck of the draw that got me the win too, You had a good deck, I had a good deck. What's more is there to say, right? Look over here, hold on a second. Sideboard, I had a Deranged Outcast. He got kicked into the prize pool. He's a Cullis and a green for a 2/2, pump a Cullis and a green, sack a human to put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature, and being a human himself, that's kind of nice. I also had a Curse of Bloodletting in my sideboard. It's 3 and triple red. Whenever a source deals damage to enchanted player, double that damage. So that's kind of funky. Get all this other stuff out of the way. Also in sideboard, I had a Blazing Torch, which I didn't run because I'm like, dude, I have so much other removal in there. I mean, I was, what, I think 3, 4, 5, 6, easily 6 removal cards in there, 5 of which were flashbackable. I don't know if that's a word or not, but it is now. Geist Catcher's Rig, I grabbed that relatively early in pack 3 because I was really paranoid about getting decent creatures. A second Faithless Looting. A Shattered Perception, which is an interesting card. It's 2 and a red, it's a sorcery, flashes back for 5 and a red. Discard your hand, then draw that many cards. That's really an interesting card. I kind of like it. It almost made the cut into the deck, but didn't. One of the things that I'm rather infamous for where I play is sandbagging lands. I remember one time I'm playing in a game and my opponent's sitting there and he starts thinking out loud. It's like, alright, you got 3 cards in your hand. At least one of them's probably a land. And I'm looking at my hand and there's 2 lands in it. And I'm like, really? Am I getting that predictable? And he's like, yes. So I'm infamous for sandbagging lands in hand, you know? If I don't need the land, I'll keep it in hand. I won't play it. It's a good habit to get into. People will sit there and ask themselves, what is this dude doing? I mean, there have been a couple of times when I've looked at my opponent and I've said, cards in hand? He's like, none. Cool! And I just explode on him and just start ripping him open because he's got no cards in hand. You know? More black. I got some black here. There's a Stromkirk Patrol. I grabbed that because I was paranoid about creatures, and I figured, hey, you know what? I've got 4 removal cards, the black flashback. Maybe I'll go red-black. I ended up going mono-red, like I said. But yeah, he's serviceable. He's not exciting. He's serviceable. I had 2 Chosen of Markov. They're rather interesting. It's a 2 and a black for a 2/2 human. Now, normally that means she's about as good as Scathe Zombie. Tap her, and an untapped vampire you control transformer. She turns into a 4/4 vampire. Doesn't have flying or any other special ability. She's just beefy. She's just beefy. And you know, sometimes beef is, beef is its own quality. You know. Grave Purge. Didn't make the, I ended up not splashing black into the deck, even though I could have. Harrowing Journey, I honestly was seriously thinking about splashing that in. Spawn a black for sorcery. Target player draws 3 cards and loses 3 life. I mean, I just look at that and I'm like, ooh. Ooh. Because it's 3 draws, you know? That's not bad at all. What else do I got here? Curse of Misfortune. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, so during cursed players' upkeep, you search your deck for a copy of a curse already on them and put it on them. Yippee yay. Chapelgeist. He's a reasonably solid 2/3 flyer. Silverclaw Griffin, he's 3/2 flying first strike for 3 and double white. I mean, for his mana cost and rarity, he's more or less on curve. Sarah Angel, same mana cost, is an uncommon with an extra point of power, 2 extra points of toughness, no first strikes, but vigilance. And first strike really is a huge ability, and he's got enough toughness to not easily crumble to something like a Geist Flame, you know? Not unless you want to flash the Geist Flame back the same turn you cast it initially. So there's that. Griffin's not a bad card. It's not. Definitely not tournament viable, not for its mana cost and combination of power, toughness, and abilities, but it's a solid draft card. Memory's Journey, don't care. Secrets of the Dead, whenever you cast a spell from your graveyard, draw a card. That's an interesting enchantment. Villagers of Estwald, I think it was like a late hate draft. And a Moon Mist, which I think was also a late hate draft. So like I said, I came in second, which really was not a disappointment at all. The release tournament card was a Mondranin Shaman. She's a 3/2, and after she transforms, she's a 5/5 that deals 2 damage to an opponent whenever they cast a spell. It's kind of nice. I also, out of the prize pool, get that out of there, I got my Curse of Bloodletting back. I didn't really care. Havengull Runebinder, he's kind of interesting. He's 2/2, you pump 2 and a blue, tap, exile target creature from your... exile a creature card from your graveyard, not targeted. That can make a difference. And you get a 2/2 black zombie token. and then you put a +1/+1 counter on each zombie you control. That can get funky, because you've also got, token creatures with counters on them. That makes having an actual card style token really useful, because having just putting down like a die or a coin to represent the token when it's got +1/+1 counters on it can be it gets ridiculous. Oh, and I got the Deranged Outcast back too. Yippee-yay. What I'm really happy about is that out of the prize pool I picked up a second Markov Blade Master. That's nice. That is nice. It makes me happy. Second draft, I got my butt handed to me repeatedly. Round 1, I got my ass handed to me. Round 2, I got it handed to me. Round 3, I ended up playing against Brown Ben Plum. I've mentioned him once or twice a long time back. He doesn't show up to play all too often. He's a good, I want to say he's a good kid, but it's just like, he's kind of college age, I think. And it's just like, I don't know, it disturbs me a little bit to refer to him as kid, I think, when I stop and think about the fact that he is kind of like, college age, but, it's also kind of disturbing just growing old in some ways, because, like, I'm 36 years old. If I had a kid when I was 18, he'd be turning 18 this year. Yeah, that creeps you out when you stop and think about it. I don't have any kids, but, yeah. Cat is already problem enough most of the time. But oh well. So I had this deck. This is interesting. I ended up with a pair of Drogskull Captains. Very nice. He's a 2/2 flyer. Other spirits you control get +1/+1 hexproof. I was even in third match against Ben. I had both of those on board at one point in time. At which point he's basically just in really a bad position. Really bad. Had an Elgod Inquisitor, Mausoleum Guard, Delver of Secrets. The Inquisitor's a 2/2 with lifelink. When he dies, you get a 1/1 flying token. Probably familiar with the others. I had a Butcher's Cleaver in the deck, which was nice. 3 humans plus, even if it's not human, it's still great sword, And when you got flyers, the power boost is nice. I got a Saving Grasp. That came in handy a couple times. Blue, instant, flashes back for white, return target creature you own to your hand. Actually, what's kind of nifty about that, too, is it also works against, people stealing your stuff, because it says target creature you own. Not you control, you own. So if your opponent snags one of your creatures with, like, a Traitor's Blood or a Control Magic, whatever, it's like, bam, Saving Grasp, it's in my hand. It's like, yeah, but you don't control it anymore. I don't have to control it. I just have to own it. Shazam. Spirits. I had a Moon Heron, Stormbound Geist, Tower Geist. Hold on a second. Tower Geist. Chapel Geist, 2 Nihilus of the Mist. We'll go over the newer cards real quick. The Stormbound is a 2/2 flyer, undying, can only block creatures with flying. His undying would come in more handy if he could block creatures that didn't have flying, but oh well. Tower Geist is kind of funky. When he hits the board, you look at your top 2 cards. One goes to your hand, one goes to your graveyard. That's kind of funky. Chapel Geist, he's been around for a while now. About, 3-4 months. Nihilus of Mist, 2 and a white for a 2/1 flyer. When he hits the board, you may tap target creature. It's interesting. It's not great, but it's interesting. And heavens forbid, if nothing else, it's a 2-power flyer. Holohenge Spirit. It's a 3 and a white for a 2/2 with flash, flying, and when he hits the board, remove target attacking or blocking creature from combat. That's kind of funky. So basically, you take one. You can play it either to you know, remove one of your opponent's creatures from combat. It's like, blam, I flash in this guy who can block, and I'm going to remove that guy from combat. So you're in a much better defensive position at that point. Or, heavens forbid it, you swing, you think your opponent's got no defenses or inadequate defense, and all of a sudden he whipped out a blocker just out of the blue, you know? All of a sudden it's like, nope, I'll pull my guy out of combat. Thank you. Kid science, fun stuff. A Murder of Crows as an additional flyer. That's nice. Some removal cards. Removal / control. I got 2 Burdens of Guilt. It's a single white to cast. It's a creature enchantment. You pump 1 colors to tap enchanted creature. So yeah, it is a little bit of a mana sink, but conversely, it can lock down some really dangerous stuff. A Dissipate, you know, it's alright. It's reasonably solid. Smite the Monstrous, another reasonably solid removal card. Tribute to Hunger. Now, some might ask, why splash black for a single card like Tribute to Hunger? And I'm not, you know, because I had reasonable enough control / removal, and mostly the Tribute was kind of a hate draft early in 3rd pack, but there's an extra reason for that, and I'll get to that in a moment. Other cards, a Moment of Heroism. It's a nice card. It's a good filler card. A Divination is a great filler card. Yeah, I'll draw 2. I've got nothing better to do this turn. Yoink. What you're not seeing in the deck, because it went to the prize pool, is a Call to the Kindred, which I think I might have gotten back out of the prize pool. It's a 3 and a blue for a creature enchantment. Whenever enchanted, I think it's, what is it, during your upkeep? Pretty sure I got one back. Or did I? No, I don't think I did. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. I believe it's during your upkeep you may reveal cards from the top of your library until you... Something about the... Oh, crap, I can't remember. But basically, it lets you, like, hunt the top of your deck for, I can't remember if it's upkeep or when the creature attacks or what the deal is. I don't remember off the top of my head, and I wish I could. And I'm not going to look it up right now. But basically, it's, it lets you, you know, look through the top couple cards of your deck or so for creatures that share a type with the enchanted creature. For example, you know, you put one on like Drogskull Captain, you swing with it, and you can go hunting for like spirits and or soldiers, which is also which is really nice. Evolving Wilds, it's nice to see that reprinted. Cute little card. Originally from Rise of the Eldrazi, it's a functional reprint of Terramorphic Expanse. No problems there, right? Right? Now you're going to see something else. What I was definitely going to be splashing black for. I believe I opened this in pack 2 of the second pack of Dark Ascension. Vault of the Archangel. It's a land, it taps for colorless. You can pump 2 colors of white and a black and tap it. And creatures you control gain lifelink and death touch till end of turn. That was huge. That was incredible. Unfortunately, it only came up a handful of times. When it came up during round 2, it came up too late to make enough of a difference, which was kind of sad. Round 3, the thing just sat there and said, yeah, I'm gaining a crap ton of life every turn I swing at you. I don't care. So it was nice, but yeah, I came in really low ranked in the draft, which I wasn't happy about, but that does happen sometimes. I can't help but think maybe that this deck should have done better than it did, but I don't know if it was just luck of the draw, or if I did something wrong, or if I just drafted a bad archetype, or what. I don't know. I really don't. But I can't help but feel that this deck really should have done better than it did. Sideboard had a pair of Avacyn's Collar. A quick creature gets +1/+0 and Vigilance. If a equipped creature is a human, when it dies, you get a 1/1 flying white spirit token. 1 to play, 2 to equip, it's not bad. Harrowing Journey in sideboard, Depth's Caress in sideboard, Wolf Hunter Quiver. I know I mentioned the Quiver last week. Array of Revelation. To be perfectly honest, I should have splashed that during my games in round 2 because dude was relying on enchantments for creature control, and pretty strongly too, I might add. That enchantment gives enchanted creature -13, -0. Yeah. That sucks. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good creature control card, it just sucks to be on the receiving end of it. Hamlet Captain. Uvenwald Bear, he's kind of funky, he's a 2/2. If a creature died the turn he hits the board, he gets 2+1/+1 counters. I'm sorry, wait. No. 2+1/+1 counters on target creature, not necessarily himself. So that's actually pretty boss. What else we got here? Hollow Henge Beast, it's 3 double green for a vanilla 5/5. It's alright, no problems there. A Burning Oil, talked about that in the last one. Scourgedag Cultist, I think was more of a hate draft, really. I also had a Curiosity, which I didn't run. Relentless Stabs, which I was, considering, but decided against. It's 3 and double blue for a 4/4. In addition to his casting cost, when you cast him, you have to exile a creature from your graveyard, and he's got Undying, so that's kind of funky. I like it. I don't know if I'd consider him draft playable most of the time. I prefer flyers, but yeah, whatever. I end up with a Chill of Foreboding, 2 and a blue. Each player puts the top 5 cards of their library into their graveyard, flashes back for 7 and a blue. Excuse me. Whew. Yeah. Excuse me. Since I wasn't running any kind of mill theme, I decided, not to bother with it. Prize pool, mostly got jank. I got a Sudden Disappearance, which is an okay card. Oh yeah, talking about stuff I kicked into the prize pool. Sudden Disappearance was in my sideboard. That's another card I should have bordered in against the fellow who's running mostly enchantments for creature control. Yeah, all my creatures flash into the exile zone and come back at end of turn. All of those creature enchantments, you just slap my dudes up with, they're gone. Also my sideboard, I had a Splinter Fright and a Lost in the Woods. No big whoop there. What else do I have hanging on? I've got a Counter Lash. It's an interesting card. 4 and double blue. Counter target spell. You may cast a non-land card in your hand that shares a card type with the spell without paying its mana cost. No, that's card type. Not creature type. Card type. So if you counter an enchantment, you can put an enchantment from your hand onto the board. You counter a creature, you put a creature. You counter an artifact, you put an artifact. You counter a sorcerer, you can play a sorcery. You counter an artifact creature, you can play an artifact or a creature. Yeah, it's pretty funky right there. I also picked up a Foil Stormbound Geist, whoop-de-doo, right? As I mentioned, I think I mentioned last week, I'm getting ready to move, so I'm trying to, get some things sorted out, get this area cleaned up, and get things ready to be packed away. And one of the things I came across that just blew my mind. You see this? It's a Crawworm. No big whoop. It's 4 and double green for a 6/4. It was printed numerous times over the years. It is by no means a stellar card. But here's the thing that's amazing. You see that little rectangle-ish shape in the upper right corner that you could tell doesn't reflect light the same as the rest of the card? That's a piece of tape. If you look really close, you see the card at one point was torn and someone patched it up with a piece of tape. I don't know where I got this card from. I really don't. But someone actually went to the trouble to patch up a Crawworm of all things. A freaking Crawworm. I'm not going to pretend to understand it. I mean, it's a Crawworm, guys. Really? Really? That's just getting thrown out. I don't know what to think of that. I really don't. But at any rate, that's it for tonight. I'll catch you guys another time. Be good, be safe, etc., etc. Oh, speaking of, before I forget, Brown Ben Plum, who I played against, his real first name is Ben. One of the reasons I'm able to remember his name, heavens forbid it, is because I make the quasi-joke with the Game of Thrones reference in it. He recently... Okay, as I was starting to say before the camera cut me off, Ben's recently subscribed to my YouTube channel, and I'll try to promote his channel a little bit right here for him, because he was nice enough to subscribe, so I might as well. He goes by the username of Darth Desmond, 2 D's in Desmond, no spaces or anything between Darth and Desmond. You'll find him in my subscribers. He's it still disturbs me when I refer to him as a kid. He's an okay kid. I don't necessarily agree with any of his views. He talks, a fair amount of politics on his channel, and I don't recall seeing any magic content on his channel, but that's okay. But yeah, he talks some politics. I prefer not to talk politics on my channel because, I just don't want to bring politics into it, because people get really frighteningly irrational about politics, and they can take it really personally, and I don't want to just, drive people away when I'm just here to talk on my YouTube channel at any rate, to talk about magic or put up the occasional stupid humorous video, blah 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 blah, So, there's that, there's your plug, Ben. There's your plug. Enjoy it. Enjoy it. Yeah. Yep. So, alright, so I'm gonna get this video all clipped together and thrown up on YouTube, and all goes well, I'll catch you guys sometime next week. Be good, fellas.